North Park.
And for the athletes in the 50 to 54 division, they're going to have their 3 rounds, but it's back to 15, 12, and 9 for the rep scheme on those bar muscle-ups. And back up to the 30 calories for the men, 24 for the ladies, and 100 double unders for all 3 rounds.
Brent Meyer is your leader. Bernard Luzzi won the swim event yesterday. That pulled him within 5 points. Kevin Kester is the 2-time champ. He is 10 points out. On the women's side, Joanne Cooper and Tia Besser, the only tied race after 2 days of competition. At the top, it's Cooper and Besser with 435 points. About 30 seconds until we start. The anxiety before the buzzer hits.
10 seconds. Stand by.
Brent Meyer has been to the games twice before to finish on the podium. This is his 6th appearance overall. Tanya, it would be amazing for him to be able to finish finally atop the podium. He currently, with his spot there through 2 days of competition, is in the middle of the field in lane 12. Bernard Luzzi, we talked about just next to him, is in 2nd place. Lonnie Allen in lane 15. His coach, Bill Grundler. Heard of him. Elena Kulik joins us from Novosibirsk in Russia in lane 22. And there are Cooper and Besser tied atop the standings. Cindy Hinkle, Carrie Sandoval, both have had very good weekends, though, or weeks, in lanes 26 and 27. Kevin Kester just cranked through the muscle-ups. You can see him with the black headband and the gray man bun.
We're seeing bigger sets of these bar muscle-ups. Efficiency there, getting hips up to the bar, but still, it's important to break them early so that you can keep the speed up later. 15, 12, and 9 are the rep scheme for these ladies and for these men in your 50 to 54-year-old division.
And that's one of the hardest things to do, is to break something up when you don't have to, because it will benefit you later on.
So hard, especially when you have everyone else moving so quickly. You think, all right, I'll just do one more. Okay, let me just get one more ahead.
But that's what makes Rich Froning so great. When you talk about all of his championships in years past, is he would let other people beat him in the first round because he knew that in the 5th, he was going to turn around and see them all behind him.
And, you know, we've seen some of that with the races we've watched. You know, you see people out in the lead, and then all of a sudden at the end, and it was really about their pacing strategy that made them actually win it. It's not how fast you start, it's how fast you finish.
That's Marianne Højbjerg, currently in 4th place, 15 points out of a podium spot, out of Denmark in CrossFit 8,500. Could be 8,500. Her gym owner compared Marianne to Pippi Longstockings, which took me back, because she's sweet and lovely, but also really strong. And if you remember the legend of Pippi Longstockings, she was a tiny little girl with pigtails who was strong enough to lift a horse with one hand.
Nice, Joel. Did you ever read Pippi Longstockings?
I actually constructed a Lego Pippi Longstockings as a child, but I'm embarrassed to admit that.
I love it. That was just super impressive.
On to the double unders. Kester is in the background there. That's Brent Meyer, your overall leader, number 5'10" in the front. It's one of those finally moments if you're Brent Meyer. You are so close to finally grabbing gold. You know he wants to hang on to it here.
And that's where you see the mental edge. That's when you see the mental strength and toughness. That's pressure, you know? If you're right there and you still have some events to go here.
You can see the big kicks as these athletes try to get that bounce up off of the turf where you are not commonly doing double unders. Dee Dee Hoffman came in as one of the top seeds on the women's side here. Actually, with Kylie Massey not coming to the games, she won the Age Group Online qualifier. Didi Hoffman was the top seed, bottom right corner of your screen. Got off to a slow start. Is currently in 10th overall. The capacity is there. Four minutes into a 16-minute time cap. We're a quarter of the way through. Didi was the Masters Fitness Collective champ a season ago. Actually beat Tia Vesser in that event.
Looking fast and under control on that rope. I'm anxious to see if that's a planned break where she cranks out a fast set. A couple ways you can attack it. You can just kind of cruise through big sets or little fast, spicy sets. That's a preference. Sometimes that's to preserve the shoulders and some shoulder fatigue, to not have all that time under tension. Small breaks really can pay off and help.
It just turns into a free-for-all, Tanya, from a pacing standpoint, when everybody is doing double unders in this mass, and everyone always talks about running your own race, but being able to look up and down the line and kind of try to figure out where other people are is really difficult in this setting.
I was thinking about that. Even if they, had markers for like mats, it would change the element of how fast you push your own tempo. But I like when we don't always know. I know from a fan perspective, that's not always great. Obviously, from a calling perspective, from us in broadcast, that's really hard. But from the athlete's point of view, hey, it's good to be like, I have no idea whether you're on 20 or you're on 90. Like, you don't know if they're tripping up.
It's like chaos every event.
It sure is.
Low C chaos, uppercase chaos too. Both situations apply. Didi Hoffman now in a fight with Marianne. Francoise, who won the run event, so was in first place after the opening event, finished 4th in 2019, her games debut. She's 9th right now.
Holding on for big sets here, utilizing that pushback to get a nice strong kip.
This event is 3 rounds for time. It is a triplet. Descending reps of the bar muscle ups. And then the skier followed by the double unders. 75 on the double unders. 25 cals for the men, 20 cals for the women on this Concept 2 ski-erg device. We've utilized all 3 of Concept 2's apparatuses this weekend. The rower, the bike, and now the ski. There's Marianne Hobert. The mother of 5 from about east central Denmark.
She's coming into today in 4th place, 30 points out from podium position. They have one event to go after this one.
Her best finish was a 2nd. She's been inside the top 5 just that one time. So this will be a big W for her if she can hold off the field. Didi Hoffman in particular in the black shorts. Well, they're all in the black shorts. With the blonde ponytail right in front of you. We've got Meyer on one side and we've got Meyer on the other. This one's Meyer. No relation. Kevin Kester. Just always have to be aware of where that guy is. He hasn't had an event win yet this weekend, but he's contention right now. Top 3 coming into the start of the event. Twice a champion, and we mentioned it earlier this week. He was on the Invictus Mindset podcast and said, I'm coming here to win. This isn't a, I've been there before, I'm just going to go have a good time. No. It's a definitive goal. No doubt I'm going back to win again. More than halfway through this 16-minute time-capped event. Nobody's on their 3rd round of doubles yet. These are your leaders all on round number 2. Bernard Luzzi is 5:02, the Italian on the right. Leaders on the women's side, those are the only 2 people currently doing double unders on round 2, although Didi Hoffman you can see strolling up in the background. So now 3 women on their 2nd round of double unders. Bernard Luzzi actually is the first man to advance the double under rope, so he has now passed. He was the last one there, the first one to leave.
It's been the round 3, Joel, that we've seen anybody make their move, and this could be it. Just the fact of getting back to the bar first, that's big. Any little thing you can do in a race like that mentally, and get up there, get a rep or 2 under, facing the right direction.
This is only a round of 5 reps.
Nine reps for the
reps,
final.
excuse me.
15, 12, 9,
Yes.
sorry.
No, my bad.
It's been a few. It's been a few heats.
Trying to keep them all straight in my head. I need a judge to count for me.
Unbroken. Grabs right on to get that grip. And get started. Great transition there.
This is Françoise Mayer.
Past 11 minutes.
Final round of 9.
She's digging deep here. You can see it in her face. The thought before every single one.
Tanya, what happens when it gets this hard? When you're meeting your hips at the bar and you're just trying to hang on to not have a no rep.
You know, it's not her grip. So if it was, I'd say get down. I mean, I'm still tempted to say come down, but mentally, you know, if you can grit that out, and she is able to. 2 reps to go.
You sure? You sure? That's what she just looked at the
Just
judge.
making sure.
Yeah. I could have sworn I had 1. She does have 1 now.
Big push back. Keep yourself together. Stay tight. Get the hips up. Get that turnover.
And that's a good rep. Check the hand before she goes to get on the ski erg. Bernard Luzzi continues to work on his ski erg.
And as long as Luzzi looks the same as he did in round 2 on those 100 double unders, he should be looking at 100 points, which would be huge for him because right now he is only 5 points out from that first place position.
Out of CrossFit San Benedetto del Tronto in Italy. If the games were to finish right now, this would be Luzzi's best career finish.
Oh, they're off at the exact same time. Here we go. It's all about the double unders.
Luzzi grabs the rope first and will begin first. This is 100 double unders for these men. Tanya's counting in her head, so I won't bother her.
He's at 30. He was about 35 in unbroken where he takes his first break.
Kevin Kester has come in behind now. We have seen already in many age groups where the person your eye is trained on just gets passed by the other person in the background who's slow and steady.
He's right at the halfway point.
Meantime, Marianne has a hand in the air on the skier, so she'll move forward to her final rope, jump rope, as the only woman there. Tanya Luzzi's taking huge chunks out.
He is.
Kester with some smaller sets. Meyer is in first place overall. Luzzi is in second place overall. Kester is in third place overall. The difference between the three men from 1 to 3 is 10 points. The difference finishing in first or third place in this event is 10 points. We could see some massive leaderboard shuffling based on what happens with this trio. And it's Luzzi. Drops the rope and runs, and Bernard Luzzi will pick up an event victory in event number 7 in North Park. 2 in a row for the Italian.
And that is what he needed on the final day. To get himself on the top, he has just the final event to go.
Now can he pass, or will he equal Meyer? They'll be tied if Meyer finishes second, and he won't, because we've got some movement on the outside. Bob Ruano beats Kester and Meyer, and Bernard Luzzi is Bob Ruano's biggest fan.
Oh my word. Well, that makes it all interesting now with the points, with the podium race.
Meyer will finish third. And with less than now 15 seconds, Meyer will be the only female finisher, it looks like, here in event number 7. Françoise Meyer, the lone finisher for the women, 50 to 54, but the story here is what that man just pulled off.
Okay, he's got home.
Luzzi, so impressive. To stay that aggressive, that focused. It's come down to that round 3.
He just said, that's my friend Bob Ruano. I don't know if they were friends before this, but they certainly are now.
They sure are now. It was round 2 of the double unders where he took the lead, got back for the 9 unbroken muscle-ups. This skier, he and Meyer came off at the exact same time. But it was the big sets of the double unders and the proficiency there and his speed that got him 100 points. Got a little help from his new friend, put even more points between he and the top.
So Luzzi gets the win on the men's side, but there was only one finisher on the women's side, and Françoise is with Amanda.
Françoise, congratulations. I want to ask you about your strategy coming into this and how you decided to break up the reps and break up the movements. I'll let your translator interpret.
Elle te demande quelle était ta stratégie pour le WOD et qu'est-ce que tu avais choisi à faire comme rep.
Donc à la base, sur le premier tour, je voulais faire 5-5-5. Round 2, 2 fois 6. Et ensuite, c'était, je sais plus.
All in on the last round. She did 9, so she's pretty good.
Well, très bien, François.
Merci.
Great job. Thank you.
Françoise Meyer picks up the event victory, the only woman to finish in the 50 to 54 bracket.
It was all about, Meyer just playing her game through this. She didn't have to go unbroken on the muscle-ups, but she can. And she kept fighting. She really could have come down because there wasn't any pressure near her. Got through, probably a little translation there of what rep she was on for the double unders. And man, she was aggressive and really fought through. Had she broken them up, maybe she wouldn't have finished. And with all that work that she was capable of doing, had